Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Ravens or Around the Flock. Um, Unfortunately, last night I was going to be doing this. Oh, gotta shut that door. I was going to do this last night at normal 10 o'clock time, but I'm going to be completely honest with you all. I accidentally fell asleep in the recliner, then on the couch. Then I got back up and actually went to bed. Um, for any of you who are just or now waking up, happy Thanksgiving. And to everyone else who has already been getting ready for the day, still happy Thanksgiving. Hope everything's going well. Hope y'all's turkeys are moist and juicy. I hope all your sides are well seasoned and just fantastic, and all your beverages are enjoyable as always. Now, first off, the talk about the Ravens is the 13-3 win over the Carolina Panthers. Now, was it a little bit of an ugly win? Absolutely, it was. Um, unless you're thinking about it on the defense side of the ball, then obviously it was a wonderful defensive front that can all appreciate and enjoy. But we got to put points on the board. Got to get that score up there. They're showing that they're dominating in the pass rush, coverage, whatever it may be. Um, but either way, got to get to going. I told or mentioned on the last show that this game could possibly be a low scoring game, especially since Baker Mayfield was the starting quarterback. The Ravens defense did everything they could and possibly did to keep him out of the end zone, which obviously he did just that, but he did manage to get the Panthers into scoring range and got him that field goal or into field goal range, which obviously set up the one and only score by the Carolina Panthers. But oddly enough, the Ravens defense just fired on all cylinders. Marlon Humphrey, Juice Man Peters, Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen, all the guys in the front or up front played lights out. Geno Stones is still stepping in really well for the injured Marcus Williams, who we'll get to that, who has been designated to return to practice, which is awesome either way. Oh, goodness. Still working on my coffee. Anyways, but the big thing that I find was kind of cool was this year some of the roles are flip flopping. Juice Man is stripping the ball, getting physical, and just getting the ball out, while or giving the fruit punch vibes, while Marlowe is being that little bit of a ball hog, getting some of those INTs. It's like versus 2019, the roles are flip flopped, and we love to see it. Defensively, or Calais Campbell still doing well. Tyus Bowser doing amazing in coverage and sacks. Jason Pierre-Paul setting the edge well, getting to the passer. Sacked, or I'm pretty sure you got a couple sacks there. I'll get to the box scores here soon once I go over the offense side. What I thought was just awesome. But overall, this team was fantastic. On on the offensive side of the ball, obviously it was hard to get things going. Lamar and company, they were doing well, or they were doing decently, but the Panthers defense just stepped it up. It's almost like the Ravens offense kind of played to or down to the level of Panthers defense. Granted that they were playing like they had nothing to lose. We do want to see them reach their full potential. We've seen lots of comments going around that some of these personnel or these guys are unable or not used correctly, like Devin Duvernay getting the handoff or not reading or Lamar not handing the ball off to him properly when it could have been taken up for a first down, for example. Demarcus Robinson got a little bit going on, but nothing too major. Mark Andrews, obviously, he's back. He showed that he was good to go, and that he was still the security blanket that we all know him to be. But we did see some key drops and just not reading the right things. We all know big old Project Pat or Pancake Pat is still doing a phenomenal job running people over, getting the ball, or when he gets the ball, taking people down with him off the handoff. But when it comes down to running, or he's an awesome route runner, but with some of these screens, I think just got to slow down on them a little bit. Still think Greg Roman is on that or little bit of a tight leash, but we all know he can do better. He's got to get play calls to these guys that's going to fit their strengths, and I don't think that they're doing that still. Excuse me 1 second while I. My apologies there. Allergies are going a little bit nuts this morning. Anyways, back to what on topic. Kenyon Drake was doing a really good job on running whatever routes he had, or running or getting into his lanes, bouncing out. But like I said, that Panthers defense was just playing really, really well. There were some blocks that obviously were missed. Ronnie Stanley went down after so long because Lamar accidentally ran into the back of his leg. That he had surgery on twice. And Patrick McCary was able to fill in fairly well. He's our Swiss Army knife and unicorn, as we all know. But this team needs to buckle down with the shorter play calling and getting the ball off quicker and finding that route to just get points on the board. Obviously, they did there towards the end with a nice little touchdown run. I believe it was. Give me 1 second there, folks. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the box scores for a couple moments. We don't want to keep have this episode be too long, since we all do have stuff we got to get through with Thanksgiving, the holidays. But overall, I was happy with how the defense played. Offense still needs a lot of room for work, but also I want to take a special moment to recognize the special teams unit. They're still balling out as always. Jordan Stout getting better every week, thanks to his special teams coaches, and we'll get to that in a moment. Let's talk about the box score stats real quick. Lamar Jackson was 24 for 33. It was okay for 209 yards, one interception, which was kind of an odd interception, if you ask me. Um, he was picked off by a big man. He kind of, or in my opinion, he kind of underthrew it, but it is what it is. He was sacked 3 times and had a rating of 76.5, kind of average. The rushing attack was led by Kenyon Drake and Lamar Jackson. Drake had 10 carries for 46 yards. Lamar Jackson had 11 carries for 31 with 1 touchdown. Hill was 7 carries with 30 yards. Ricard had 1 carry for 4 yards, got that first down, and Duvernay 1 carry for 4 yards. This is where we need to start seeing Devin Duvernay get, like I mentioned earlier, need to start utilizing him a little more than what they have been. Because when they know that they can utilize some of these guys, it's like the next game their stats just kind of fall off or are little to nothing. But let's go into the receiving. Demarcus Robinson was 9 for 9 for 128 yards. This guy is showing potential for wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 energy. This guy just showing out that he is part of this team. He deserves to. And there's so much to be said, or that could be said, about this guy and this offense. And there's a reason usually why wide receivers don't want to come to Baltimore. But wide receivers like this who can show out and do well even on a limited basis or whatever you want to call it. He was targeted 9 times, caught all 9 balls, took it to the house, or took it in for over 100 yards. That is awesome. Mark Andrews obviously was 6 for 8. I think one of them was a drop, one of them was a contested catch for 63 yards. Security blanket. Justice Hill, 3 for 8, or 3 of 3 for 8. Kenyon Drake, 2 of 4 for 7. Duvernay, 1 of 1 for 3. Oliver, 1 of 1 for 2. Likely 1 of 1 for 3. James Prochet, 0 of 2. Mike Davis, 1 of 1 for unfortunately -3. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but bump Prochet down to the practice squad or get rid of him at this point. I like the guy as a person and being influential, helping out, doing the best he can to help the team out. But it seems like every single game that he gets put in, the ball gets sent his way. It either, he has the potential there. Absolutely. I like this guy. But it seems like every time he gets the opportunity, he either does a mediocre job, or B, just shows nothing. The jugs machine can only help you out so much. It is what it is. Josh Oliver, obviously, he's working his way up, showed some skill, showed some potential. Unfortunately, it did not. And Marlon Humphrey recovered a fumble that caused by the juice man. Or let's go ahead and go through the defensive stats. Humphrey recovered that nice fumble caused by the one, the only Juice Man Peters. And let's go to the top 5 for defensive performance with the tackles list. Patrick Queen leading the team with 12 total, 9 solo, half a sack, a tackle for loss, and a QB hit. Raquan Smith, 7 total, 6 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Marcus Peters, 5 total, 4 solo, and that's about it for that. Mr. Kyle Hamilton, 4 for 4 with 1 tackle for loss and 1 QB hit. Let me tell you, Kyle Hamilton is doing a great job, has lived up to the expectation of this first round pick, playing everywhere in the secondary, in the slot, at free safety, strong safety, you name it. He is just an absolute all-around great player, and I'm just happy to have that he fell into the Ravens' lap at 14. It's very heartwarming. Chuck Clark was the 5th for 3 of 3. Now, in the sack, let's go ahead and talk about the sacks here in a second after I put my mic on mute real quick and blow my nose because, yeah. Anyways, I have returned, and going into the sack category, let's see. Obviously, we know Patrick Queen and Raquan Smith both had sacks. Jason Pierre-Paul had 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, and 1 pass deflect, 1 QB hit, and also he had an interception for 3 yards. Calais Campbell had a sack, and then Justin Houston had half a sack. And let's go ahead and look at the pass deflected. Obviously, Broderick Washington and JPP both had 1. Brandon Stevens had 1, and Marlon Humphrey had 1 as well. We already talked about Marlon Humphrey's interception earlier. Duvernay had 2 punt returns. Nothing special to look at, even though he is still rated as one of the best punt returners, kick returners in the league still. Justin Tucker was perfect all day. 1 for 1 with the extra points and 2 for 2 with the field goals. Jordan Stout hit about 7 punts. We don't like to see that, but it is what it is. With 250 yards total, long of 52. This guy is going to keep getting better and better. He's just a rookie, still the kicks are about average, but we love to see it. Offensively, let's go ahead with the player of the game. Offensively, I would say my player of the game had to be Demarcus Robinson. That guy was just absolutely wonderful the entire game. Blocked really well. Caught every ball that was thrown his way with nice yardage. So that's going to be my player of the game for the offense. Defensively, it's hard to pick because all these guys just played at a high level. You know what? I'm going to do a 4-way tie between Patrick Queen, Raquan Smith, Marlon Humphrey, and Marcus Peters. All 4 of these guys just played lights out. And we can see why, we can understand what's going on. So those are going to be my players of the games for versus Carolina. Now, practice is going to be going on today and then we'll get an injury report later on. But let's go over yesterday's injury report real quick. Uh, with yesterday's injury report, Jalen Moore Davis with a hip did not participate. Calais Campbell, Justin Houston, and Marcus Peters all had rest days. Gus Edwards, dealing with a hamstring knee injury, was limited at practice. Safety Kyle Hamilton with his knee did not participate as well. Lamar Jackson did not participate according to the injury list as a hip injury. Ronnie Stanley with his ankle, and Kevin Zeitler was sick. Now, looking at this list, obviously we are expecting Calais Campbell, Justin Houston, and Marcus Peters to be back either tomorrow or Friday, and all as full participants. Gus Edwards, probably another limited day today. Lamar Jackson, hopefully he's back, but either as limited or full participant. Kevin Zeitler, depending on the severity of his illness, will probably either be out tomorrow or back full. Ronnie Stanley, I think they're going to take it like Coach Harbaugh said, it's going to be day to day. So he could be out there today. He could be out there. Not. We'll find out soon. And then Jalen Moore Davis probably still going to be out. Now, heading into this Sunday's game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, it is in Jacksonville, and the Ravens are seeking their fifth straight win when they play at Jacksonville. Let's see. Jacksonville sitting at 3-7, while Baltimore obviously 7-3. The ESPN matchup predictor has the Ravens winning with a 57.5% chance of winning. Jacksonville 42% chance, and a tie of 0.5. Obviously, if the Ravens continue their trend of playing on their opponent's level offensively, we can possibly see the team keep it another close game like they did against the Panthers. If they play on the level that we all know that they're at, I don't see any reason why this can't be a blowout. A good friend of mine and fellow ATB contributor, Eric Hindenburg, I know he is going to that game. He is going to be rooting for his Jaguars all day long. And depending on what his thoughts are for the game, it could be a fairly close one. I know Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, they're doing fairly well to go in. And that offensive line is getting fairly better. But the Ravens team, they just got to buckle down and play to their strengths. The defense, I think this is going to be another lights out game for them. They're going to still get on ball with what they can do, what they've been doing. Adding Raquan Smith has been a phenomenal help to the team and just getting things on track. Lamar Jackson going into this game is the leader for both passing and rushing, receiving, led by Mark Andrews. On the Jaguar side, Trevor Lawrence and leading in passing, Etienne rushing, and Christian Kirk as the leading receiver. As of right now, for the injury report, obviously we just went through the injury list for the Ravens, but according to ESPN's injury report, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Flavion Chassian is on IR, and Darrell Henderson is questionable. So, by what I know, Jacksonville didn't really have many on their injury list. Pretty much everyone is almost healthy. And I just realized my mic wasn't plugged in all the way, so there is that. But going into the pick center, we are looking at a -4 spread for Baltimore, +4 for the Jaguars, -195 for the money line, and versus +162 with an over/under of 4.3. I would take the spread, but that's just me. I'm not too good in the betting. I still got to read some of these betting tips from my fellow contributors. Overall, if Baltimore is looking to win and theoretically plays on the what they are capable of, I can see this game going a 31-17 ball game with the Ravens winning. If the Jacksonville Jaguars having a win, will see it as a 31-28. But now that's just a big old hypothetical because we know what the Jaguars' offense is capable of. It's just a matter of if the Ravens' defense can obviously play like they've been playing and stop them, and if the Ravens' offense can take advantage of the Jaguars' defense. So there's my final scores. Everything that I've got to talk about for the day. Let's go through a quick wrap up of the show right now. If you're looking to find me on any social media, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok, that name on screen, BT Myers _ is the name you'll find me at. If you wish to add me on Facebook, if you haven't already, please send me a friend request. Would love to talk Ravens ball with you. And also be sure to follow us at ATB _network or Ravens _ATB over there on Twitter. Don't forget to follow us on Twitch and YouTube with Around the Block Network. And I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. Enjoy all the festivities, the feasts, everything along those lines. Thank you so much for enjoying the show today. Please leave a comment, and likes, and don't forget to subscribe. We all appreciate it. And one last thing before I go, if you are looking to join Around the Block as a contributor, whether it be writing, podcasting, producing, maybe join me as a third co-host whenever TD decides to come back or is able to come back. Would love to have you. But till then, hope you all have a wonderful day. We'll see you all next week.